Well, today I am honored to have another trailblazer with me from NOAA's Educational Partnership Program. And this has been an individual has had a huge impact on Howard University and me and many others who have come out of the center. So if you may, Dr. Morris, will you introduce yourself to everyone?
Hello, I am Vernon Morris. I am a foundation professor and senior associate dean for research at Arizona State University.
And tell us your affiliation with NOAA's EPP.
I was the founding director of the NOAA Center for Atmospheric Sciences, NCAS. I think it converted to NCAS M at some point, but I was there for about 18 years. Left around 2020, and have come. Still work with NOAA, still work with Howard, still work with a lot of the partners from that Cooperative Science Center, but at a different location now.
So tell me about NCAS-M. What was its foundational mission, and what made it different from the other cooperative science centers in the program?
That's a lot of questions. I think what made it different, I think it grew out of a common core of people, and Tia, you were there when I was still fumbling around with NASA and trying to develop the vision for what became the NOAA Center for Atmospheric Sciences. But it came out of a small group of folks, all junior professors, a fledgling atmospheric science program. Um, and it grew, I think, phenomenally with a lot of investments, a lot of energy, um, a lot of sort of characters from different disciplines, different schools, different colleges, different agencies, different corporations, private sector, public sector. Um, and I think that made it unique from the start that we had such a broad base of participation and talent, and that we were drawing students from all over the nation, all over the world, from all different types of disciplines. And that was an ethos even before sort of the formal center came together. Um, and I think what the NOAA funding did was really catalyze something that had been percolating for a little while versus, just start something fresh. We kind of knew the direction we were going, um, and I think the NOAA EPP program just really catapults what we were trying to do to a brand new level, different strata.
Tell me a little bit about the types of research and activities that came from NCAS when you were there.
We started pretty traditionally. We started with a focus on the basic physical sciences that undergird predictive capacity within NOAA, chemistry, physics, atmospheric sciences, engineering. But I think we always had connections beyond the basic physical sciences. And so it was easy for us to continually incorporate, School of Communications. We're partners before in some of the NASA work. It was easy to incorporate faculty from sociology, faculty from economics, faculty from history and psychology. A number of fields were brought in and I think inspired some change, also responding to some changes within NOAA in terms of just a greater realization that science answers questions very well. It does not solve complex problems in and of itself. You have to bring in human elements. And I think we understood that early. Operationalizing that, of course, is a huge challenge. But I think we got a great head start just because of the size and complexity of Howard University, um, and the ability for you to reach across disciplinary lines in an easy way helped us set an example for the many different institutions that joined as we continued to grow. We started with 5 institutions, I believe. By the time I left, it was 13 institutions. I think we started with 4 or 5 disciplines. By the time I left, it was God knows how many, 18 different disciplines. And so um, I think that growth was unique actually at the NOAA Center for Atmospheric Sciences.
So I'm going to name some names and then I want your honest reaction.
So
Uh,
I covered my
Dr.
face.
Dr. Terry Adams, Dr. Vankita Jones, Dr. Michelle Williams, Dr. Leticia Williams, Dr. Tia Tyree. What is special about this group of people that I just mentioned?
This must be my surprise question. These are all
No.
wonderful folks. Some I knew when I was like a formative baby at Howard. And, the opportunity to work with people that you like cannot be underestimated, undervalued, underappreciated. It's a joy to work with all of those folks. Some were undergrads to grads to postdocs to professionals. Several were, Vankita, Leticia. Um, Seeing them grow into being professionals that I then become resources for me to go to and say, okay, how do I do this thing better? How do I, and seeing them also change culture in federal agencies, in organizations at the national level, um, and knowing that this is the sort of capacity of the folks that you work with. Like all of those names are are giants of a type to me because they help me grow.
Thank you. That's wonderful. I'm sure everyone will smile when you hear that. And we are the X factor in NCAS-M. We are
Absolutely.
the social
Absolutely.
scientists that
Absolutely.
bring that extra element that I think makes NCAS-M so special. But here's a larger, bigger question. The EPP program has been around for 25 years. That is a milestone that many
Yeah.
for-profit, nonprofit government entities don't make. So why do you think EPP is still here 25 years later?
Dogged persistence. I think I think let me back up. I was going to say I think the longevity of this program is distinctive. I wouldn't say it is unique because if you look at the cooperative institutes, they've been around 40, 50 years. If you look at some of the funding pipelines that go to the Ivy Leagues and some of the big publics, they've been going on for 70, 80 years. But I think it's unique when there is an investment in HBCU or a suite of HBCUs, and that longstanding commitment survives administration over administration over administration. It signals that the congressional representatives find value in it and it's protected in budget. And I think that is unique when you say, okay, do we have a similar, and we argued always that the investment should be greater. We argued always that our return on investment is outsized, incredibly outsized, and that if there were greater investments, and I think there should be, that you would see an even greater national impact, if not global impact. Um, but I think it is a testament to dogged. Uh, I say that with a laugh, and I'm absolutely serious. That the folks who would go to the mat to defend this program, who go to the Hill, go to the agency leadership, um, wherever there was an ear to hear that might influence a funding stream, we had advocates there, and we got to appreciate the hard and thankless work often that it takes to sustain a program against a lot of stormy seas, a lot of different administration, a lot of different priorities that come in and out, and through all of that, 25 years, high level of productivity and impact.
So I know this is going to be a rather difficult question, but part of what's going to happen between now and when we celebrate the true anniversary at the biennial meeting in July is that we're having a lot of alumni and trailblazers like you reflect on the time that they've been with the program. And I know this is going to be difficult for you with your 18 years attached to the program, but is there one memory that you'd like to just share with us?
The 18 years is like you get a baby is born and you're putting them out to college, right? You're crying because, oh my God, separation anxiety. So it's tough. Um, what stands out? Not the most standout. I would say one of the standouts was when we first heard, Everett Joseph, um, Demetrius Venable, myself. I think Belida Mose was also there. When we first heard that we got this opportunity, I think was humbling because we dreamt some of the original plans literally on a napkin at a lunch table in an outdoor diner on 18th Street in Columbia Heights, and so from that humble beginning to saying, okay, you've got $7.5 million, $12.5 million to realize that effort, was very humbling, um, exciting. We were very young and naive, and I think at that time, we drew straws to find out who was going to be the director. This probably should not be taped. But yeah, I think that moment we still laugh about it, and I'd see Everett, um, uh, you know, at professional meetings, and we get together and still laugh about that. Okay, someone's got to be director. Who's going to do this thing? Um, that was memorable. When you can look back on that 25 years later or 18 years later, you leave, 7 years, it's still going strong. Everett left before I did, and feel like that the investment was worth it. The long nights, the back and forths, all the things, all the things that you can't even say. Um, it's wonderful. It's really nice, and fulfilling. And I think that, yeah, the straw drawing from Demetrius's hand, I think I'll never forget that.
Well, I will say on behalf of all of the professors who've been attached to NCAS and
A-
NCAS-M, the
And I drew the short
students.
straw. I drew the
Yes.
short straw.
Well, we are forever thankful that you did. I think you did a wonderful job running the center and you left it in good hands to the testament that we are still moving and rolling along all these years later. So I thank you so much for spending time with me today. I'm sure your insights and your stories will ring true to so many of us who valued your time as director
Uh,
with NCAS-M. And I will see you in July, hopefully, when we celebrate this big moment. Thank you so much
Hope
for
I can
your
get
time
there. All
today.
right. Thanks a lot, Tia. Good to see you.
Bye bye. Thank you.